Letter 227 by Charles Lamb. Charles Lamb to Thomas Manning Deck, 25th, 1815. Dear old friend and absentee, this is Christmas Day 1815 with us. What it may be with you I don't know, the 12th of June next year perhaps. And if it should be the consecrated season with you, I don't see how you can keep it. You have no turkeys. You would not desecrate the festival by offering up a withered Chinese bantam, instead of the savory grand Norfolcian holocaust, that smokes all around my nostrils at this moment from 1,000 firesides. Then what puddings have you? Where will you get holly to stick in your churches, or churches to stick your dried tea leaves? That must be the substitute. In what memorials you can have of the holy time, I see not. A chopped missionary or two may keep up the thin idea of Lent and the wilderness. But what standing evidence have you of the Nativity? Teas are rosy-cheeked, home-stalled divines, whose faces shine to the tune of Unto Us a Child. Faces fragrant with the mince-pies of half a century, that alone can authenticate the cheerful mystery. I feel. I feel my bowels refreshed with the holy tide. My zeal is great against the unedified heathen. Down with the pagodas, down with the idols Ching Chong Fo and his foolish priesthood. Come out of Babylon, O my friend, for her time is come, and the child that is native and the proselyte of her gates shall kindle and smoke together. And in sober sense, what makes you so long from among us, Manning? You must not expect to see the same England again which you left. Empires have been overturned, crowns trodden into dust, the face of the Western world quite changed. Your friends have all got old, those you left blooming myself, who am one of the few that remember you, those golden hairs which you recollect my taking a pride in, turned to silvery and gray. Mary has been dead and buried many years. She desired to be buried in the silk gown you sent her. Rickman, that you remember active and strong, now walks out supported by a servant maid and a stick. Martin Burney is a very old man. The other day an aged woman knocked at my door and pretended to my acquaintance. It was long before I had the most distant cognition of her. But at last together we made her out to be Louisa, the daughter of Mrs. Topham, formerly Mrs. Morton, who had been Mrs. Reynolds, formerly Mrs. Kenny, whose first husband was Holcroft, the dramatic writer of the last century. St. Paul's Church is a heap of ruins. The monument isn't half so high as you knew it, divers parts being successively taken down which the ravages of time had rendered dangerous. The horse at Charing Cross is gone, no one knows whither, and all this has taken place while you have been settling whether Hohingtong should be spelt with a or. For aught I see, you had almost as well remain where you are, and not come like a struldbug into a world where few were born when you went away. Scarce here and there one will be able to make out your face. All your opinions will be out of date, your jokes obsolete, your puns rejected with fastidiousness as wit of the last age. Your way of mathematics has already given way to a new method, which after all is I believe the old doctrine of Maclaurin, new vamped up with what he borrowed of the negative quantity of fluxions from Euler. Poor Godwin, I was passing his tomb the other day in Cripplegate churchyard. There are some verses upon it written by Miss Hayes, which if I thought good enough I would send you. He was one of those who would have hailed your return, not with boisterous shouts and clamors, but with the complacent gratulations of a philosopher anxious to promote knowledge as leading to happiness. But his systems and his theories are 10 feet deep in Cripplegate mold. Coleridge is just dead, having lived just long enough to close the eyes of Wordsworth, who paid the debt to nature but a week or two before. Poor Call. But 2 days before he died, he wrote to a bookseller proposing an epic poem on the wanderings of Cain in 24 books. It is said he has left behind him more than 40,000 treatises in criticism and metaphysics, but few of them in a state of completion. They are now destined, perhaps, to wrap up spices. You see what mutations the busy hand of time has produced, while you have consumed in foolish voluntary exile that time which might have gladdened your friends, benefited your country, but reproaches are useless. Gather up the wretched reliques, my friend, as fast as you can, and come to your old home. I will rub my eyes and try to recognize you. We will shake withered hands together, and talk of old things of St. Mary's Church and the barber's opposite, where the young students in mathematics used to assemble. Poor Crisp, that kept it afterwards, set up a fruiterer's shop in Trumpington Street, and for aught I know, resides there still, for I saw the name up in the last journey I took there with my sister just before she died. I suppose you heard that I had left the India House, and gone into the fishmongers' almshouses over the bridge. I have a little cabin there, small and homely, but you shall be welcome to it. You like oysters and to open them yourself. I'll get you some if you come in oyster time. Marshall, Godwin's old friend, is still alive and talks of the faces you used to make. Come as soon as you can, see Lamb. Since Lamb's last letter Manning had entered Lhasa, the sacred city of Thibet, being the first Englishman to do so. He remained there until April 1812 when he returned to Calcutta. Then he took up his abode once more in Canton, and in 1816 moved to Peking as interpreter to Lord Amherst's embassy, returning to England the following year. Norfolcian, Manning was a Norfolk man. Maclaurin, here Lamb surprises the reader by a reasonable remark. Colin Maclaurin, the mathematician, was the author of a treatise of fluxions. Coleridge actually had begun, many years before, an epic on the subject of the wanderings of Cain.